Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
How's it going out there?
Welcome to Thank God I'm Atheist.
The podcast. Coming to you from Salt Lake City.
I'm Dan.
And I'm Frank.
So here we are. Yet another week.
Yet another week, Dan.
As time progresses
Yeah.
into the future.
Yeah. I'm kind of enjoying the music.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Huh, we'll just let it roll for a bit.
There it goes. Hey.
Oh, okay.
All right. Fading out.
All right, fine. Now it's just us.
Oh,
We're so much more
lonely.
fun when we have
I feel
music
so-
under
I
us.
feel so naked.
Oh, well,
and
that's
bare.
because you are naked, Frank. It's a little known.
Dan.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were going to save that for us.
God damn
We'll
it,
post some
Dan.
pictures on thankgodimatheist.com. And that's not
And
true.
Let's let people just believe that.
Okay. Yeah, go look for them.
Yeah.
They might show up at any moment.
Woohoo, naked pictures of
Frank.
just me. Dan is
Oh, I'm wearing a suit.
burqa. Is what I was thinking. Dan is burqaized.
But you don't know what's under the burqa. It's a suit. Under my burqa. Yeah.
Oh, good, Dan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, what's been going on in the world? Anything?
Santorum. I'm going to spread some Santorum right now.
Yeah, don't say it that way. That's vile.
Well, I mean, he's been doing Southern well out there. Well, at least in Iowa. Where did he come in? What, fourth in New Hampshire? Where did he come in? Do we know?
New Hampshire?
Or wherever?
Yeah, I think he was fourth. No, he was fifth. He was under Gingrich, right?
That would make sense. I really didn't look at it.
Wait, Santorum?
Yeah.
Santorum?
I don't know where he came in.
He was second.
That's in Iowa.
Oh, in Iowa.
Okay, we're just lost. Anyway, let's just we're just gonna skip over all of that and get to what I was trying to talk about.
So Romney,
Right,
who was second?
Ron Paul.
Oh, Ron Paul, that's right. And then
Then
he was
Huntsman.
fifth. He was fifth.
Okay, fine. It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't matter.
He had a showing in Iowa that was the only thing that really will ever work in his favor for the rest of the campaign.
Right.
Is he still in it? He hasn't bowed out yet? Anyway, as you know, he is like a hardliner on abortion.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yes, just like in the nastiest kinds of ways. Like you should have to go through 8 layers of hell to get an abortion, even if, rape, incest, whatever. Like he wants you to have to jump through as many hoops as you can possibly imagine.
Right.
Turns out that policy would have killed his wife.
Yes.
Turns out they had so there's some controversy. I've been reading up on it because the sources are a little bit sketchy. What it comes from is the Philadelphia Inquirer, I think.
Okay.
Did an article. Was it that?
Wow, we really have our facts straight.
It was the
today.
Philadelphia Inquirer. Did an article. I've got my facts straight. I just had to make sure. Did an article about this incident that happened where they lost a child. They lost a pregnancy. It wasn't. I mean, obviously they didn't go into an abortion clinic, but what ended up happening was that she got a horrible infection.
It really doesn't matter where you have an abortion done.
Right. Well, that's true. That's true.
It's still an abortion.
But they weren't seeking an abortion. But
okay.
her body medically got in big trouble.
Right.
She got a horrible infection, and the infection was caused by the fetus.
Right.
So essentially they had to deliver an unviable fetus,
Right.
which is tantamount to aborting.
It's basically an abortion.
It's an abortion.
Right.
And, Salon.com printed a thing that was like, this was not an abortion. And, they had some expert talking about it. The fact is we don't have access to any of the medical records, so we don't know exactly what it was. But, frankly, whether or not it was actually technically an abortion or not.
Right.
I just said whether or not, but that's okay. I'm just going to let that slide. Whether or not it was an abortion... Here's what my takeaway was. My takeaway is that Rick Santorum said, he said literally, quote, if that had to be the call, we would have induced labor if we had to.
Oh, right.
It's just so easy to take a position when it's not your wife.
Right. Yeah,
That's
it's
what
funny
we're getting
how people
at.
behave in their lives, what they're able to rationalize.
Right.
With,
When it's somebody else.
when it affects you, that's the position. That's where you need to put yourself. Right. It's the whole thing about the veil of the poverty veil thing. If you before your life could have chosen the proper policy, tax structure.
Right.
You know, and because you don't know whether you're going to be rich or you're going to be poor, how are you going to structure it?
Right.
It's the exact same thing with this kind of issue. You have to say, okay, if I were ever to be in that situation, how would I structure it? How would I regulate it?
Would I be able to watch my wife die?
Exactly. You have to be able to have empathy.
Or as a woman,
because
would I
really
be
do
willing?
think-
Because his wife has the same policy that he does,
Right.
and as a woman, would I be willing to die for this?
Well, yeah,
For this belief?
right.
And if you and in fairness,
there are those
there
out
are
there.
women who understand it,
Uh-huh.
who believe it,
Yeah.
and who would rather die than have an abortion.
Yeah.
They're stupid. Those are stupid women. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right. No,
wow.
they're women of religious conviction.
Yes.
And I think religious conviction is stupid. So I suppose I don't know. Although there's another okay. So here's another thing that I discovered in my researching this story.
Uh-huh. Are you going to go where I hope you're going?
Yeah, she's 37 years old.
Yeah. Kind of creepy.
Karen Santorum that's like
7 kids.
18 years younger than he is.
Right.
Is
No,
that the math?
15.
16.
16.
15. Anyway, she is.
We also did our math today.
She is
How
significantly.
how old is he? He's 52 or 53?
He is 53.
53, so 16-year difference.
16 years.
16-year difference.
He could have fathered her, but instead he
Well,
fathered 6 children with her.
When he was 6, so let's see. Yeah.
I'm just saying. No one's talking about that.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Gross. Okay, first of all, I'm surprised. I am blown away nobody's talked about that.
Somebody Google Santorum is gross. Because I think he is.
Okay, but no, I think this is actually this is wild in my mind because they have 7 kids and
No, they have 6 kids. One of
6
them
kids.
died.
One of them died. Okay,
Yeah.
nonetheless, she's been pregnant
7 times
7 times
that we know about.
That we know about.
Who knows? She may have been
This
going around
oldest
aborting all this.
kid, this oldest kid isn't going to college in order to follow dad around on the campaign.
Right.
So they have a college age kid. Okay, so at least an 18 okay, so they've been married at least 20 years, right? So she was seriously 17
Yeah.
when they married and he was 33.
Yeah. Something like that.
There's more
Wikipedia
there's
is-
more
has-
wrong with this guy than just
Then there's more wrong
his
than
politics.
right, is what there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ew. Ugh.
I think really what you and I are responding to negatively about that part of it is just that it's making us feel old.
No. First of all, imagine at your age dating or being with a 20-year-old.
Oh, I can't. They're awful.
And that 3 years ago being with a 17-year-old.
Although I can imagine Santorum being immature enough that a 17-year-old in
Well,
his 30s
his
would seem like...
response to homosexuality is rather immature. Ew, gross.
Yeah, literally.
It's literally
he
that
does
kind of-
take the ew gross approach to homosexuality.
Yeah. Well, since we're on homosexuality, should we do
Yeah, you do.
gay marriage?
Yeah, talk to me about gay marriage. Who likes
Gay
it? Who doesn't
marriage.
like it today?
Well, today it seems to be the Pope. In fact, he doesn't like gay marriage so much that he actually calls it a threat to humanity's future.
Oh.
And
Well, now wait a minute. That might be fair. Because if everybody participated in gay marriage...
but not everybody's going to participate in gay marriage.
Well, I know I'm not.
Yeah, right?
It's gross.
There you go. Right?
Right.
But it's not gross to me, Dan.
It's up to me and Santorum to populate the earth if that happens.
Well, he's doing his job.
Yeah, he's
got
definitely
6
doing
kids.
his job.
Anyways, so the Pope told diplomats from nearly 180 countries that were convened at the Vatican that the education of children needed proper settings. Okay. And that pride of place goes to the family based on the marriage of man and a woman. This is not a simple convention.
Because two men can't create a family.
No, of course not. But rather the fundamental cell of every society. Okay. Consequently, policies which undermine the family threaten human dignity and the future of humanity itself, is what he said.
I'm kind of getting sick of the old canard that the family is the fundamental unit of society.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that was dreamt up at conservative think tanks.
I'm
like that. Nobody.
Is it based on anything? It's not based on anything.
No. And in fact,
they're just
if you
saying it.
I read. I can't remember who wrote it, but it was Marriage: A History.
Right.
And it's this incredibly dense book, written by a researcher up at what's the one in Olympia? Evergreen, up in Washington.
Sure.
Anyways, so incredibly dense book, and she goes through all the different ways that people have coupled, right?
Sure.
Have because it's not even marriage, right? That she's even doing a
Sure.
history of, because there's this group in China that they don't have any concept of a man and a woman getting married and forming a family. It's all based on the sisters.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And that's the family group.
And there are plenty of groups there are plenty of places where it's a tribal thing.
Exactly.
Where everybody raises everybody's kids.
Exactly.
And so
it's like you can't look
and
to
that's wrong
history. You can't
somehow?
look to different like there's too many examples that go totally counter to the Western notion of marriage that has only cropped up in the last half century.
You gotta ask,
maybe a century.
Sure, you got to ask the Pope. Have you read that one book that y'all like so much? Because David, Solomon, all these guys had hundreds of wives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And concubines to add.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
there's never been
your
way
book
to practice marriage, and
right.
It has never.
Or there's
and again, until all the political dialogue, nobody was ever talking about it as being like this fundamental unit of society.
So stupid.
But it is the basic. It's the brick, right?
Like everything's going to fall apart. Everything's going to fall apart if we let two men raise a child or two women raise a child, as opposed to one man and one woman, which works out so well so much of the time.
All the time.
Every single time you couple a man and a woman and they impregnate. He impregnates her. It works out perfectly.
Oh yeah.
And then
always.
And then when you bastards start getting together, society, humanity,
absolute disaster every time,
loses its future.
Anyways,
hey,
do we want to?
Is there more?
Well, the article does say something interesting, which, It says.
There was an objection, wasn't there? Is that what you're getting to?
The objection
to the.
Oh well, yeah, there was that too.
Okay.
There was this dude who he's just up in arms because Reuters, which is who reported on this whole thing,
right?
The one I just read. He's saying that Reuters. Completely took this all out of context, and that's not what the Pope was saying. Right?
Oh, okay. What was the Pope saying?
And so, what he says is, and I love this line: the Pope is a Catholic, perhaps. Okay.
And the bears shit in the woods.
Okay. It says, the Pope is a Catholic. Perhaps it's in the nature of the news business to be freshly astonished by this fact every couple of months. It's also true that the Vatican bureaucracy is arrogant, secretive, suspicious of outsiders, and given to the use of almost impenetrable jargon. Sometimes as a journalist, you have to explain what they mean. But none of this explains, still less excuses, the claim that he had said gay marriage was a threat that undermined the humanity of future, or the future of humanity. He didn't.
Okay, but didn't he?
So we read the Reuters, right? And it says Pope Benedict said on Monday that gay marriage was one of the several threats to the traditional family that undermine the future of humanity itself.
Oh, so it's just one of.
It's just one of.
So that means he didn't say it.
He didn't say it. And it's really quite remarkable.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyways, just interesting. People trying to make a controversy where there is none. The Pope is not for gay marriage. Why get all up in arms that he said? Why try to defend the man?
Right. I do love that it's the end of civilization. It's the end of humanity. It will bring us to our downfall if we allow it.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and you said he was saying it to some delegates of countries. Is that what you're saying?
No, they were they weren't delegates. They were diplomats.
Yeah,
they were,
but they were political people. They weren't religious people. Is that what it was?
They're diplomats right, because they actually hold they have consuls.
Right. You know, no, I get that.
These are representatives from 180 countries.
Yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. He's
basically all but like half a dozen.
He's trying to exert the force of his religion on countries. That's dumb. I don't like that.
Well, yeah, but they are a political entity.
Yeah, I suppose so.
You know, and they have 1.3 billion members.
God, that's so many people.
Yeah,
that's a lot of
Catholics.
a lot of influence.
It's a lot of Catholicism.
Well, hey, speaking of theocracy,
yeah,
I got a thing about. Apparently, there were 3 Indiana state senators who introduced a bill in Indiana that would allow schools to require the recitation of the Lord's Prayer every morning.
That would require them to allow?
No, allow to require. It's a valid distinction. Meaning it would allow a school to require their students, if the school wants to.
Wait, what schools? Like public schools?
Yeah.
The Lord's Prayer?
Yeah. What's really funny is that they're like, well, there may be some quibbling.
Wasn't there like a Supreme Court decision on this?
You'd think. Yeah, I think it's basically allowing them to open themselves up for the lawsuit that would ensue instantly if any school ever even tried.
In order to run it up to the Supreme
Maybe.
Court.
I don't know. I don't think the bill will get passed, but 3 Iowa senators, surprise, surprise, they're all Republican.
Iowa?
Indiana, sorry.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and so they were talking about, you know, they do have like a financial statement attached to the bill because you have to say like where the money's coming from for things.
Right.
And they were like the only funding that they could see that this might cause is in like exploratory studies to see which version of the Lord's Prayer people might want to use.
What?
Well, there's the King James version, and then there are versions. I did a whole thing.
That's the only potential like expense that the state could see.
Yeah.
Not like having to defend the stupid law. Like that seems like a defense that the Attorney General's office would be very interested in.
Basically, what they're saying is that they're not allocating any new monies to the school system to cover saying these prayers. You know, the Lord will provide.
That's amazing. Oh, okay. Let's see. What's next?
Rattle some more paper. Make it seem like we're doing things.
Warren Jeffs.
Ooh!
Polygamy front.
Yeah.
I love me some Warren Jeffs news. I've got some good stuff.
Well, we should explain that Warren Jeffs is the leader of the FLDS, or Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Yes.
Which is the Mormon offshoot, not the actual Mormons, but the Mormon offshoot that still practices polygamy, and they were the ones that had that big kerfuffle in Texas a while back.
And what's also important, and really we need to just make sure people really get this, he is a prophet.
Yes, he
receives revelation.
If you watch Big Love, you know what that means.
You'll totally get who this dude is.
He is their prophet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really, really important.
Very, very, very important. And also important is that, like Dan said, that it is the FLDS, the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Is that what they call themselves?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do. And that's really important for this one note, because they have been calling themselves the Fundamentalist Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for like 100 years or something.
Right.
It's been a long time. I don't know how long it's been, but it's been a long time that they've accepted that. So some handwritten revelations that have made it out of prison, because also finally the Texas jail that he is being imprisoned at has taken away his phone rights for 31 days.
Oh,
poor guy.
Well, that's because he wasn't allowed to speak to his congregation over the phone, and then he did it.
Exactly. Yeah, they were holding the phone up to the microphone up to the phone, having it play over a loudspeaker so he could preach to his people,
which is against the rules. Somehow.
That's against the rules.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
Oh, there it is.
But anyways, so they took away his phone privileges. So now he's handwriting them. And these came to the attention of the Utah Attorney General's office. And in one of them, he actually signs himself as the president of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fancy.
That is fancy,
He's
right?
moved up in the world.
He left out fundamentalist, making it look like he might actually, be thinking of himself as a little bit more than what...
I would not be surprised by that. There's nothing about that would surprise me if he thought that he was the actual president of the Mormons.
Yeah. So they don't know exactly what he's claiming with that, but that's not even the point of why I'm bringing up Warren Jeffs. He has a absolutely fantastic prophecy wherein he is saying that God will curse the U.S. president with indecisiveness. That's the prophecy.
No, please, no. He won't be able
wear
to
this tie or this tie.
I don't know. Maybe
do I want a cup of
No, is this
coffee
specifically
or
President?
would I like a cup of tea?
Is this specifically President Obama, or could it be a president? Could we have a President Romney who's in there going, I just don't know what to do?
Well, it says this: you shall feel a way of darkening in thy soul, causing you not to be of full deciding way in many of thy doings, being of confusion in many items, needing national power to be of certain way of deciding. His words. Quoted,
and the "you" is in this.
So he's speaking to the president of the United States. So I would say that's probably
Barack Obama. Oh, Barack!
You shall feel a way of darkening in thy soul.
Man, you know what they get? I tell you, you get your mind into it enough, and you can get the talk down real good. You can start talking in this weird ass.
You shall feel a way of darkening in thy soul, causing you not to be a full deciding way.
Well, so he had a whole bunch
of thy doing.
He had a whole bunch of other prophecies that he's done.
He has some good stuff.
And someone
at the Salt Lake Tribune.
Oh, is that who it was?
Uh-huh,
oh, yeah. God bless him.
God bless the Salt Lake Tribune.
They did this great thing where they went to Google Maps and they literally mapped out all of his prophecies. So if you can Google Warren Jeffs map or something like that. And
yeah, we'll put a link on the website for this because this is actually really, really worth
it's
checking
so
out.
Fun. Should we read a couple more prophecies?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take Phoenix.
Okay. Yeah.
and I'll try and do my Mormon leader voice. Let also Arizona know that my judgment cometh, that earthquakes and the sinking in the earth shall be on the capital city there. Also volcano. I can't even keep a straight face. Also volcano and earthquake take power in many habited and large something.
Large
populations something.
Yeah.
Apparently it trails off on the Google Maps. I'm just
Yeah.
So Phoenix, you're in trouble.
Yeah. Well, and there's also the Utah earthquake, which
do that one. You don't have to do the voice though.
Oh no, I'll do it.
Okay.
Also cometh the shaking of the land where the new Zion, even Jerusalem, the new holy way, is to rise on my land of Zion. Tempests, earthquakes, even war and famine cometh upon the land.
Oh my God! Wow. Do any of them have like locusts or pestilence of fleas or something. He goes international on a few of them.
Let's see. Let China also be warned to only cleanse my land of wickedness, not my people.
Oh, that's nice. How do you cleanse a land of wickedness instead of people?
Correcting behavior.
The land is behaving badly?
No, Dan.
It says not my people. It says don't. Okay, I'm confused.
The land of wickedness.
Yeah.
Cleanse my land of. Don't cleanse my land of people. Cleanse my land of wickedness.
I see. I think I see.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Can I do my favorite one, or do you want to do it?
Is it the one that I pointed out earlier?
Yeah, you should do it. You should do it. I'll give it to you. Wait, I'll do Nicaragua.
Do Nicaragua first. Yeah.
Let also Nicaragua be of a humbling, as her leaders have tried to be of oppressive way in her own peoples.
Oh. And then, for reasons that confound the explanation.
Why you would choose this place, I gotta go.
Okay. Sorry, Cincinnati. Cincinnati shall soon be a destroyed city. That's all he says. It's no explanation.
You are toast, Cincinnati. Good thing
Why
you didn't.
Cincinnati?
I don't know.
Like I get picking out, Phoenix. It's nearby.
It's
right?
near him.
Like,
yeah,
it's near him.
Yeah,
he's like on the radar.
Because their thing used to be they used to have a compound in southern Utah that was straddling the border.
They still do
into Arizona. So
right. So he would have to deal.
Sure.
Yeah.
So that was his big fuck you to Phoenix, but Cincinnati. What does he have against Cincinnati? It's on the border with Kentucky.
Really nasty layover.
Yeah, exactly. I had a nasty layover at in Cincinnati, but I didn't wish destruction on the whole city. Watch out, all of you listeners in Columbus.
Uh-oh.
You're going to get an influx of Cincinnatiites.
Yeah, refugees.
Oh my gosh!
I love that one. Warren Jeffs has been worth a lot of good news.
My gosh,
good stuff.
Well, I just love that now that he's in jail, he's started to go public.
No,
it's
great
because
everything has to get filtered through.
Right, so we get
the
to
system.
Hear.
So we get to hear it.
So we get to hear it all.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what happened in Sweden?
You mentioned this. What
there's a new religion in Sweden.
Oh,
an officially recognized religion. So this has
wait, that's big.
Yeah, it's gone through the process. Sweden officially recognizes this new religion.
Okay, cool. What kind of?
I'm going to pretend like I know Swedish and pronounce it Kopimism.
And do they follow like a Christian tradition? Or?
No, they are the Kopimists. Believe in the free sharing of information. That's their thing.
Okay.
The quote from the founder of this religion: for the Church of Copimism, information is holy and copying is a sacrament. Information.
Okay, I get the name.
Yeah. Information holds a value, and I kind of like this. Information holds a value in itself and in what it contains, and the value multiplies through copying.
Wow.
Therefore, copying is central for the organization.
So they're trying to establish a religious right to like file sharing?
To Napster. Yeah.
I love it.
The guy's a 19. He was a 19-year-old philosophy student.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Isn't that
really
amazing? Yeah. Oh, and they hold as sacred symbols Control C and Control V.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But they went. I mean, they had to go through the process. They had to apply 3 times apparently for official recognition from the Swedish government.
Okay.
But I mean, it's Sweden.
Did they
don't care
ever
about...
have like? Did they? So they were rejected twice.
Then. Yeah.
So did they say like on what grounds they were initially?
I don't think it
rejected
does say that.
Like that. No. I would love to know more about this story. That's amazing.
Somebody, can we get some copimists to call us?
Hey,
leave a voicemail.
Out there.
Matter of fact, let's say how we can leave a voicemail.
Yeah,
sure. What? Here's what you do. You call 424-666-TGIA, which is 424-666-8442.
Right.
And you leave us a voicemail.
Yeah.
And we talk about you. and we play it on the air.
Play it on the air.
And we have fun with it.
Yep.
And we get all giggly about it every
Right.
time one comes in.
Because it's fantastic.
So do it.
Yeah.
Copamists and non-copamists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's fun.
Yeah.
All right. One last thing
Okay, go.
before we move on. This is it's another sighting of the Virgin Mary. She has appeared yet once again.
She's a busy lady.
She gets around. She really does. This time, she actually, I think she was drawn into this place because of its name. It's a Florida restaurant called the Hamburger Mary. It's in.
Does it look suspicious? Sounds like they've made this
Tampa
up.
Bay.
Oh, okay.
It's actually a gay establishment. It's a gay bar and hamburger restaurant. And
I can totally see Mary as a fag hag.
It's known for its it's known for its gay karaoke and drag queen bingo nights. So it sounds like a fun place.
Yeah. Let me see the picture.
I have to tell you, I can see Mary. It's a classic Catholic posing of Mary. She has the little hood on,
right?
The little shawl, whatever you call it.
And I'm going to make this
official. It looks like she's kind of gazing off into the distance.
Sure.
Right.
But here, okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this official.
Okay.
I hereby put out the challenge for people to find me an image of Mary that couldn't also equally be, or even more be, Skeletor from the He-Man cartoons.
I don't see Skeletor.
What? He's got the hood. It's Skeletor.
I'm sorry, Dan. This is one of the better ones I've ever seen. Okay. I saw it.
One of the better examples of pareidolia?
Pareidolia.
Pareidolia. This is a new word for us kids.
Yeah, we love this word. Because it happens a lot. It is the phenomenon of seeing faces and images in everyday objects.
Yeah.
Holy faces or images.
Actually, that's not how this one defines it.
Is it just faces?
It says the imagined perception of a pattern or meaning where it does not actually exist.
Oh.
As in considering the moon to have human features.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good word.
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, it's all this. The surface is stainless steel, and it got wiped in a weird way. But now the faithful are flocking to the restaurant as they would do, but they're going to be really surprised by what they find in this restaurant.
Be sure to go there on drag queen night.
I want there to be like, pilgrimages?
Yes,
Oh,
of drag queens.
They have to play this
of
up.
Catholic drag
They
queens.
have to play this up.
Oh yeah,
Hamburger Mary.
Hamburger Mary.
God, they lucked out.
They have to venerate that thing.
Ugh.
They have to put it behind plexi, and they have
I think it's amazing. Anyways,
yeah.
should we?
Let's
take a quick break, Dan.
You bet.
And like Dan said, the phone number, if you ever do want to leave us a voicemail, which we encourage you to do, is 424-666-TGIA. That's 424-666-8442.
Or follow us on Twitter at TGI Atheist.
That's TGI Atheist.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. And or you can always email us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com. We'll be right back.
Speaker Gingrich has to weigh in.
I just want to raise, since we spent this much time on these issues, I just want to raise a point about the news media bias. You don't hear the opposite question asked. Should the Catholic Church be forced to close its adoption services in Massachusetts because it won't accept gay couples, which is exactly what the state has done? Should the Catholic Church be driven out of providing charitable services in the District of Columbia because it won't give in to secular bigotry? Should the Catholic Church find itself discriminated against by the Obama administration on key delivery of services because of the bias and the bigotry of the administration? The bigotry question goes both ways, and there's a lot more anti-Christian bigotry today than there is concern on the other side, and none of it gets covered by the news media.
Yeah.
Well, honestly,
there we go.
They're so put upon.
those poor Christians.
You have to feel for them.
The anti-Christian bigotry.
And none of the news media covers it.
No.
Because that's not what you hear out of O'Reilly's mouth every damn time he goes on the fucking air. Like, literally, everything I hear out of that guy's mouth, everything that comes out of Fox News. And it's not just him. It's the news reporters doing exactly the same stuff, which is like war on Christmas, oh no, and war on Christianity, oh no, and we're so put upon. And
never has been talked about.
Never,
ever.
Nobody ever talks about it.
But what I also love is he says that there's more against Christians than against the other side.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
Well, I have to say, as an atheist, I'm going to just kind of...
Considering that
I
it's
don't know.
coming out of the mouth of a man who literally only a few weeks ago said that if you don't have God, we can't trust your judgment.
Right.
That's bigotry.
Yeah. That's big time
bigotry. That's true bigotry. Right. Whereas if Obama makes a law, or if there is a law that says you can't have public funds to do adoption services if you exclude valid citizens of the country.
If you engage in bigotry against people,
right,
you can't get our money.
Right. That's not bigotry.
That's not bigotry.
There's nothing bigotry about that.
It's pointing out bigotry.
It's saying
highlighting bigotry.
It's saying you're a bigot and you can't have money. Literally, it's saying you can't exclude people who have paid into this fund.
Right. Exactly.
So a bunch of our citizens are paying into the fund.
Yes.
They get as much of the benefit as the rest of the country.
Exactly. Yep.
Stupid.
That's all that's saying. So, and I love this term, secular bigotry. Secular bigotry. Wow. Like, what does that mean?
Frank, we're bigots. It means that we are bigots.
It doesn't mean I'm not a bigot.
No, you're not. I'm kind of a bigot. I might be a bit of a bigot.
How are you a bigot, Dan?
Well, I don't know. I don't.
What do you feel? What do you feel like you're a bigot?
I'm not a bigot. I'm trying to force myself into that.
You're trying to become a bigot?
Well, no. I'm just trying to think about like ways that I might be a bigot. Because I'm not pro religion.
Right.
So am I bigoted? But no, I'm not. It's not bigotry for me to say that I'm anti-religious.
Do you know what word I think is really funny?
What?
Bigot. You can't keep using the word bigot in a sentence without it making me start to laugh. Because it sounds... It's like, a really silly sounding word.
Well, yeah.
Like you were just talking.
You can't get over the word.
The word itself makes me laugh.
It does. It sounds like it's like a combination. It's like you're smushing together big faggot or something.
Well, it also rhymes with spigot.
You're spigot,
which is a funny word too.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I've often
secular bigotry.
Come on. I mean, and the thing that really galls me about this, and I'm not, there's ignorance out there, and I'm not really that galled by it. But what galls me is that I know that Gingrich is smarter than that.
Oh, he's picking his words very carefully.
He's gaining the political points that he needs off of this. Mm-hmm. He doesn't buy it for a second.
These phrases have tested well by somebody from like Frank Luntz or somebody.
He's just playing it up.
Phrases.
He doesn't buy it.
Mm-hmm.
If you called him on it, if you had a sit down with him and you were having beers and everything was off the record, there's no way he would hold to this. He's too smart for that.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
I don't know, though.
That's what galls me.
Yeah, I know.
Because I either have to give him enough credit for intelligence to know better and to be still saying it, which means that there's not malicious intent, but subterfuge happening.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's feeding it's the anti-Christian bigotry sounds like they're making a claim that seems like it's reverse bigotry, right?
Right.
Which is like
reverse racism,
yeah. Right? Like
which is totally a real thing.
Of course. I have had so many people be racist against me because, and I've lost out a lot of opportunities because I'm white.
Yeah. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Awful.
There's nothing worse than being a white male. You don't even know the half of it. I'm straight and white and male.
Dan, it's just got to be awful for
People are constantly pointing fingers at me and saying that I'm oppressing them.
Yeah. But what I thought was really genius about it is that there is this idea in America, right? There's this sentiment of it's this sort of disenfranchised white males, right? No, it's poor white males in sort of uneducated poor white males in the South and in other parts of the country as well, who really buy into this idea of reverse racism because they're so put I mean,
because their lives suck.
Their lives do suck.
And they think it's because all the black people are taking their opportunities.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And so what's amazing about it, and it's so smart of Gingrich, is to be taking that exact same sentiment and turning it.
It's just giving people an enemy to rally against.
Yeah. Well, and Christians always feel so persecuted.
Their lives
you cannot
are so
make
hard.
up a third of the world population, okay,
and then claim that you're persecuted.
Unless you happen to be some of those Christians, like the Copts, right? In Egypt,
the Coptic Christians. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if you're Christian and you live in Mecca,
yeah,
I feel for you, brother.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're Christian and you live in Kentucky, you are not having any. You are not being persecuted, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting because NPR posted a whole thing on. They did a whole story on has Obama waged a war on religion? Did you see that article?
I did see that article.
Yeah,
and I have to kind of agree with the assumption that
he is waging a war on religion.
No, of course not.
Sounds more like something Bush would have done. He'd just like to wage war. I'm declaring a war on terror. There's a war. After Katrina, I've decided to declare a war on the weather.
Oh, God.
No, Obama. It's this whole thing that we talked about the other day. Was it last time? A week ago about the not letting the Catholics have money to do their adoptions.
Right. It's this whole thing. Yeah.
But that's not a war on religion.
No.
That's a war on.
It's protecting people's rights.
It's protecting people's rights.
Yeah.
And nobody's saying that they can't. And Gingrich, you didn't hear this out of Gingrich, but nobody is saying Catholics. No one's saying Catholics can't exclude gays from their adoption services. No one's saying that.
No, exactly. You just don't get money.
You just don't get public money to do it.
Right. I, as a gay man, don't have to pay for it.
No. I mean, you have to pay for plenty of things that are against you.
Objectionable.
For the longest time, you had to pay for, military coverage, even though the military was not letting the gays in.
Right, but our borders were secure.
Yeah, that's nice.
But no, I don't know.
There's no war on religion. Although, frankly,
I wish there was.
Well, no.
Wish there was?
Here's the truth. There are plenty of guys like us who have declared war on religion.
Have we?
I'm not saying we have, but there are plenty of activist atheists out there who are openly declaring war on religion.
Right.
It's so effective. What a great war they've started. But the point is, it's not Obama that's doing it. But as we discussed at one point,
Obama goes to church.
If I had the opportunity to click my heels 3 times and get rid of religion from this planet, I would do it. I don't know if that counts if that constitutes a war on religion, but I just don't think religion. I personally feel like religion hurts more than it harms. It's not necessary to our country. It's not necessary to our society. It's not necessary to the world.
Right.
So I would just as soon have it gone. Mm-hmm. So if there were a war on religion, I know what side I'd be on, at very least.
Who you'd be rooting for?
Yeah. Hey, I'll take up arms. And by that I mean I'll speak into this microphone.
But we're not, Dan. We're not declaring a war.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can believe whatever silly nonsense you want to.
Me?
Anyone.
Why would you say that to me, Dan? I do believe some silly nonsense, but that's kind of a rude thing to say.
Well, no, I'm just making sure that you know that I'm open to that.
Yeah. Was there anything else about the war on religion?
No, I don't care about the war on religion. I think it's stupid. Gingrich, you're stupid. You know what? Let's go on to something happier. I have something happy that are you? Do you have something else that you wanted to say about the war on religion? I'm declaring war on the topic.
Yeah, I'm declaring war on the idea,
the concept
of a war on religion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't know.
Hey, so we got an email.
Yeah, we did.
It's our first official email to the podcast.
Yes, it's true. And so, as such, we would also encourage everybody to email us.
Right. Someone emailed us at podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
That's true.
So, here's what he said. I won't read the whole thing. But his name is Brandon. He's from Jackson, Mississippi, which is cool. We got some listeners in the South. What up, South?
Right. Yeah.
And he's a Christian.
I think that's awesome.
I think that's amazing. He's listening to us. He's being open-minded.
Well, it sounds like he's he's not just being open-minded. He sounds like he's a very open-minded dude.
Yeah. Sounds like a cool kid, and he's. I wish him all the best, and just want to do a shout-out to Brandon.
Yeah.
And encourage everybody to give us some to give us some ideas. Brandon didn't have anything specific he wanted to say about
nothing.
Any questions he wanted us to discuss, but
he sent us a nice email,
yeah,
and we like that. And he also I figured out, I don't have that many followers on Twitter, so it wasn't very hard to figure out that he's also following us on Twitter.
Oh,
which is
good
also,
job.
That's a thing to do.
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
actually getting more and more and more into the whole tweeting thing.
Yeah,
I do a lot of retweets, but I try to do a couple original ones.
Sure. I don't do the tweeter. I have a Twitter account, but I don't understand Twitter.
I totally get it. I think it's awesome. It's about the exchange of information.
I think it must be awesome. I just don't understand it. I'll look into it. I don't know. We'll see.
It's really a lot of fun. But anyways, and of course you can follow me at TGI Atheist.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's cool. And then the other one that we got was actually just a comment that was posted on thankgodimatheist.com.
Yeah.
And it was also super nice. And but she says, sooner or later, I'll try and leave a voicemail. I just have to gather enough courage to do it. Haha. Well, I'm just going to say, Melissa, just do it if you want to.
There's
no courage about it. Just give us a call.
We're so darn harmless. It's ridiculous. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
so I thought that was nice. People interacting and letting us know what they think of us, and I think that's
I'll
great.
tell you one advantage to people interacting with us now. If people call us or whatever now, we get so few. At this point, that you will get a mention.
You'll get a mention.
You're famous now.
Yeah.
You can be famous just like Brandon and
you
Melissa.
You can be famous in Columbus.
And New York.
Seriously.
We have some people in New York now.
But Columbus is unbelievable.
I know. Why do we have some? We love you, Columbus. I keep listening. Yeah. God bless you.
Yeah, I know, right? And then, of course, we're just going to do some little wrap-up stuff here.
Oh, wait. No, don't wrap it up. We got a review.
Oh,
we got to do our review.
Okay, sorry,
it's not a church review. Don't get excited.
Oh,
it's a movie review.
True.
But it's churchy. It's a churchy movie.
Okay, right. Yes. Dan, I totally forgot.
That's okay. We went on to the Netflix and we watched The Ruling Class, starring Peter O'Toole.
And it was a movie that I had seen at some point, but had totally confused it with some details from a Peter Sellers film.
From Being There,
which is a really charming film.
Yeah.
And so, I confused the tone of the one with the other one, and I'm like, "Oh, Dan Andrea, this is a fun movie. Let's watch this movie."
It's a bad movie.
Oh God, it was disappointing.
But
it might have been funnier if we were in the know of maybe some British stuff.
I don't know if it's about the British. I think it's just about avant-garde film of the 1970s. Is what's problematic about it. Because it's first of all, it's based on a stage play, which often is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, okay.
And then, so it's about the character that Peter O'Toole plays is a mental patient, but also the heir to an earldom or something.
Right.
A lorddom. A lordery. I don't know what it is.
He was about to win the lordery.
He was the winner of the lordery. And so the guy dies and then he's next in line and he thinks he's Jesus. And he's got this awful wig on and so looked terrible.
There was honest to God though, there was some funny stuff in it.
There were some great moments. They were just sprinkled in with completely random songs.
What was the line you liked so much?
Oh,
the one that you actually
yeah, yeah. It was. He said something like, someone asked him, "So when did you realize that you were, or when did you find out that you were God?" And he said, "Well, I kept praying. Every time I prayed, I realized I was talking to myself."
Right. Yeah, it was a lot of stuff like that.
Right.
Mixed in with just an unpleasant film.
Just a batshit crazy film.
I must have had like a bottle of wine and then watched that movie. Like, I cannot imagine how I remembered it with such fondness.
Right. Well, and then there's this whole thing about how, like, the plot goes from him. He thinks he's like the god of love, right? At the beginning, and he's all about love, and he's all about kindness, and he's all about giving and everything. And then by the end, he's been like the sort of evil psychiatrist guy does a psychiatric experiment on him.
Well, this scene is amazing.
Has him confront this other guy who thinks he's God,
but who is sociopathic.
Right. Like, who's like evil God, and they have this like war, and the guy's like, and he's
shooting
doing like the
lightning bolts out of his finger.
The Emperor from the end of end of Return of the Jedi, like all this lightning, which only they can see.
They can see, yeah,
because they have they've
got the crazy eyes,
complementary crazy, going with each other,
yeah.
And then he turns to the dark side, and he becomes evil God
because he was harmless up until this point,
right? Oh yeah, he was delightful.
He was
the
crazy,
sweetest guy.
He was crazy,
right?
He needed to be in a care facility,
right?
But if he was outside of the care facility, he was harmless.
And we won't tell you how it ends.
Peter O'Toole.
Yeah.
Well, why? We're saying don't see it.
That's true. Then he goes and kills a bunch of people. He turns into Jack the Ripper. Yeah. He goes from being Jesus to Jack the Ripper, and he kills everybody.
It's pretty
and goes into the House of Lords. By the way,
if you had just told me if I'd read a synopsis of it, I would have been like, sign me up.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting
Peter
concept.
O'Toole and everything. I just would and I did. I obviously did at one point. I was like, yeah.
Don't go see that. Don't Netflix that.
Yeah. He doesn't walk on water at the end.
That's a net
which
nix.
Is what I thought was good.
Yeah.
I remembered being there.
Peter Sellers. Go see Being There.
Being There is awesome.
Yeah, dude, find that.
Totally a lot of fun.
Anyway.
Well, Dan.
Hey, that's our show.
I think there are just a couple more things.
Now you're telling me to... Yeah, okay.
There's one housekeeping thing that we just wanted to make sure got out there.
Right.
Which is we'd like to ask a favor.
Hey, y'all.
Of all of our listeners.
Would you do something for us?
We would like to ask you to get onto that nice iTunes.
The iTunes, as I like to call it.
And, give us a little review.
Review us!
There's a lot of you out there listening.
Give us the star rating.
Yeah.
Rate us as you will. Yeah. We're not going to try and coerce you.
No. Yeah.
We've had some very nice people leave some very nice reviews. Yeah, we just need more.
We need a few more.
It would just be so nice.
It would be really nice.
iTunes would take us more seriously. We'd get more listeners. You guys would all be in a better company. You could get all hipster about it and be like, "No, dude, I was listening to them before they were cool."
Yeah, here's my review.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You don't believe me?
By the way, none of the reviews on there were written by us. I'm going to give you that guarantee.
Yeah,
that we did not write any of them. Although it's tempting. Just kidding. Our integrity is intact.
Yes, indeed.
Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, and
we love you.
Oh, thanks for listening. That's the show.